where we had a lot of friends in PNG though. Well, you did. I didn't have friends until like year 9.
Yeah, but that was, that it wasn't, you were,
It was by choice.
yeah, you kind of met him halfway on that for a long time. But I was pretty good at making friends just because I was like good at...
You've been better at blending in.
Yeah, I was better at blending in. I had played enough video games at that point. The origin of me being good at fitting in was because I was like, oh, well, fitting in's not that hard. You just act like an NPC.
Yeah.
And it kind of just works.
Yeah.
Not in a psychopath way, I gotta say.
Not in a detached, weird way.
Yeah, I was not detached.
Yeah.
It was all from a place of reality. I just never fully divulged, like, my true thoughts.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't need to. People were already a little dumber than me as well.
Yeah, well, at that age, they're just kids, Not like we weren't, but we were different.
We had I think our upbringing was like, being a PNG, you learn a lot of street knowledge just by existing there.
Yeah.
You kind of got to level up a little quicker,
Yeah, and then to go from Australian, like, creche, straight to PNG, and then straight back to Australia.
Well, my first schooling was in PNG.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, we had to be adaptable. Like, yeah.
PNG set me up right. I became it's fine.
And we have really, really good parents. So.
Oh, yeah, probably. I haven't seen any example of parents better than ours so far.
Yeah, and it's all luck,
Yeah, we think we're very lucky. Obviously, we've done nothing to deserve this.
We may sound arrogant, but we're very aware that we're not prideful about it because it's luck. Like, yeah.
We did nothing to get that.
Yeah, we haven't worked hard in our lives.
No,
not at all.
God, no.
We've had a breeze of a time compared to other people. Like,
yeah, we're very we're very posh.
Yeah,
and
we're not like
in a rich
wealthy.
way.
We're actually not very wealthy. But it's like, intelligence, a general confidence with schoolwork and stuff. Like,
We know we're not like, we don't have hard lives.
Yeah. Like, and I know that if you're the fan or if you're some fans, you might not find this relatable. But for us, school was like very.
It was
easy.
kind of a breeze in terms of the actual work of it all.
Yeah, it was psychologically, it's a nightmare.
Oh yeah, psychological hell.
Yeah, but like the work was
never an issue.
Child's play.
Yeah, it was literally like, I was my last 2 years in VC were in COVID, right?
Yeah.
We was online most of the time. You mute the class.
You were playing Dark Souls.
You play a video game.
You were on R6. You were playing Rainbow.
The boys play some Rainbow. We get some ranked games in.
This is while the teacher's talking.
Oh yeah, well you can just turn them down.
And make them nice and quiet.
Make them nice and just like a background noise. You can hear your name if it's important, but most of the time they're not going to call you out because no one responds anyway.
Well, I went to school and I was doing the equivalent of that, which is I was drawing and reading books. And I was just doing work from other classes. I did all of my VC basically through online. Like...
We're at 31 minutes, but I feel like we can talk longer.
That's fine. We're having a good combo. We can just... People will either enjoy us talking about random shit or they won't. Like, you know what I mean?
That's on you, fan.
Yeah, that's on you, fan. You hear us?
Mm-hmm. You goddamn hear me.
You hear me.
You can't escape.
Yeah, like for me... Year 11 and 12, like, the teachers are useless. The teachers are, like...
Not for lack of trying, they're just not smart people.
And I don't actually mean useless. Like, they were fine at what their real job is, because their real job was babysitting. They're just supposed to keep you there so that your parents don't have to look after you, like...
Your parents have got jobs.
Yeah.
Give them a break.
And if you let all the VCal kids loose, we'd all be off snorting cocaine and fucking each other and killing people within, like, a day. Like,
we're a bunch of goddamn chimpanzees at that age.
Dude, at school, there was, there were kids in my year 11 and 12 who were, like, doing snorting lines in class in VCal. And, like, me and Marcus brought drugs to school, like, quite often.
Dude, I don't know if I should dox. I theoretically... thought I should do acid on a thing called foundation, like a fun day at our school, and it was a good time.
Yeah, it was fine.
Theoretically, if I would do that,
I bet that it would have been.
I bet it would have been a good time.
Yeah,
for me.
Yes,
and I bet that a bee landed on me.
Yeah,
and it just like we were just like vibing out for a couple seconds,
Damn, you
and then it flew away.
Theoretically in this timeline.
Theoretically in that timeline.
Yeah.
It was pretty. It was an awesome day, just because I simply theoretically communed with a bee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, school. We should probably fucking hell. Yeah, the teachers are supposed to keep you there during the day, and then, like, the work was really, like, even now I'm in my second year of uni. I'm doing a marine science degree, and work isn't difficult. It's never hard. Like, facts are never difficult to learn. Concepts are never like hard to get. Like, I don't know how many people would find that relatable. Like, Marcus, my buddy, also agreed with me. Like, he was like, oh, now that you mention it, the actual schoolwork was not that hard. It was the rest of it that was fucking ridiculous. Like, yeah.
That might be universal.
Yeah, I
think
wonder.
if people don't have like some traumatic blockers,
Yeah.
some walls.
I don't know. I knew a lot of people who really tried hard at the same time. Like, and I remember there was this girl in my math class, and she was really trying hard and doing all the homework, and she was always asking me for help. And I remember that it just wouldn't click for her. She was just like, slow is not the right word. Like, in conversation stuff, you wouldn't call her slow, but for maths, she just didn't have the brain for it, I guess. Like,
It's funny, I don't think you have the brain for it either. You
I
never
don't.
passed primary school math.
well, that's because we were in PNG.
Yeah, I didn't. The only class I did. Oh, we were like, in PNG, being white really is like a superpower.
Yeah, we weren't aware
We
as
didn't
children.
realize it, yeah, because we were so young.
Yeah.
But people treated you very different. Like teachers, this is a good example. Right, one time I'm vibing with the homies, right? This kid
Yes.
called Ryan Bean, one of my like best buddies at the time. He was like a local, he was from PNG, right? He was a local guy, but he was in the international school because his dad had some money.
Yeah.
And he like just shoved me a little bit. And we were messing around, and then he shoved me a little hard, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ashamed to say I was a bit of a snitch.
Yeah.
Okay, I went up to the teacher. Bear in mind, this is like, I was like 5. I went up to the teacher, and I was literally like, oh, he shoved me. And I expected from this that she would just be like, oh, say sorry. And that would be the end of it, right? And then she was like, so I told her that, right? And then she got up and she was like, oh, okay, just push him back. And I was like, I'm not going to, what do you mean push him back? I was like, I thought, you're like,
You're not supposed to do
you're not
that.
supposed to do that. I was a kid, right? I didn't know the words of this. My vocabulary was limited.
Yeah. Plebe. My vocabulary was immaculate.
Your vocabulary was not sufficient.
Yes.
But, what was I saying? Teacher. Yeah, so she brings him over, right? And I'm like, I'm not going to push him. So she stands up, right? Now, we're like 2 5, 6-year-olds, right? This is like a 40-year-old lady from like a local place working as a teacher here. She just like fully shoves him, and he falls into like the Lego box, and he's just like doof, and he's just like starts crying, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, you were like, fuck.
And then she was like, there you go. She was like, that was it. She just went back to teaching. All the kids were like so used to it, they just like went back to doing what they were doing.
They were just like, yeah, justice has been served.
Yeah, like it's just a crazy place, and I think that this is, and that was about like being white. I don't think I've ever seen. I thought she was gonna make me say sorry because she doesn't do that for other kids.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was very unique, neurodivergent, whatever you want to call it, autistic,
Same.
whatever, right? I was a little weirdo at that age, and I wouldn't do any classes that I didn't want to do. Music.
Me too.
Yeah. Music class, no. Sport class, no. I would just leave because the whole country of Papua New Guinea is covered in rainforest. It's gorgeous, right? So I would just leave. I would walk out of the classroom at like 4 years old. Like 6 to 8 years old. I would just leave the classroom quite often, and I would go like play with the local stray cats or like go fucking explore the forest and shit, and I'd just come back and I think that was another example where they were like, yeah, he's white. Mum literally would tell him, like, make him do the shit. Like,
yeah, our mum. Well, she asked the school, right? And she's white as well.
Yes.
She like went up. She was like, Now, guys, please don't treat us differently. Please just discipline my kids the way you discipline the normal kids. Like, I want them to have a normal schooling thing here.
Yeah.
And they kind of didn't listen.
They were like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, they were like, whatever you say, white
Probably
lady.
sexism. If Dad had said that, they might have listened.
Yeah, and it's a sexism thing where if our father had said that to the school, they might have actually listened.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I only did math class. I skipped all the other classes because I was like, math was easy for me at that age, and I was like, I like numbers because I was a nerd already.
Yep.
And I was like, oh yeah, times table's easy, you know. Oh, we doing some addition. I got it.
I think I must have been drawing when they were doing times tables.
Yeah, I was drawing during the rest of it.
I just realized I didn't do.
This is what I'm saying. This is why you suck at math.
I didn't do the first 4 years of primary school at all. I was not paying attention to any classes.
I didn't do year 1 or prep.
Because when I came back to Australia in year 4, they tested me and they were like, "Oh, you're really good."
I've said this before to people. I'm surprised you haven't realized this. We didn't really do the first bit of school.
We just
kind of were vibing out, doing what we wanted.
It's probably why we never paid attention for the rest of it. We were like, "This is bullshit."
Yeah, it was a bad precedent.
We knew from the beginning.
We knew that we didn't need to do it.
That it was like basically you could fuck off and you would learn a lot anyway, like because you're a kid.
Yeah, kids are very smart. They go around. We should talk more about the school we had because it had some fucking natural wonders. Let me tell you. There was a junkyard in the school, and there was like rusty barrels and piles of like tires and trash.
Yep.
And sometimes there would be like a guy there. I remember. There's like people would be there sometimes, like adults, and everyone would just avoid them when they were there. We would just be like, "Oh, let's not go there today," and we would just walk away.
I would go hang out with the guards, the adults. Mum always said this. I don't really remember much. I do remember some things that match up with this. I would not talk to the kids, and I would go find an adult, and I would start asking them questions. Like, that's always what I would do.
True, I remember you doing that. Yeah, the school had a junkyard. The school had, like, a big pile of leaves. They had, like, raked a bunch of leaves into a big pile, right? And it was at the bottom of these, like, open stone stairs. So kids would go up to the top of the stairs, jump from, like, the 10-foot height, right?
Yes.
Into the 6-foot pile of leaves.
Yep.
It was very fun. I did it with the kids.
You used to do that for years afterwards. You would jump down staircases. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Because it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I liked the rush.
I would sometimes join you, but I was always fat.
I was skinny until I got fat, you know?
Yeah. No, you're not fat. You were never, like, fat.
Listen, fat.
Sergeant Pie!
Private Pie!
Yeah, Private Pie!
Listen, fat. That is a Joe Biden quote.
Oh my god, yeah, he called someone fat. I remember that. Oh my god. Fucking Biden.
Hey,
so
Joe
funny.
Byron.
Hey, Byron.
Big
Blonde.
Coney Island.
Oh god.
It's another place we love in America. Another accent.
We'll keep filming this until we feel like a natural, and I'll just cut it up, whatever.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I lost my train of thought. I remember that I didn't have a friend until fucking year 9. Like, it's, like...
Yep.
And it was a weird thing, you know, I guess...
Besides me!
Besides you. Even you, though, I was kind of weirdly antisocial with you sometimes, like...
We kind of had an understanding, though.
We hung out a lot.
Yeah.
Like, because we're brothers, we had the same room and shit, we would hang out a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Oh, yeah, we shared the same room till we were, like, 9.
Yeah, for a long time.
Well, it was until you got to high school, I think.
Yeah, it might have been. I think it was like, literally year 7. I was
year
like,
7.
alright.
Yeah,
because we didn't have another room in the last house.
Yeah, we had to be in the same room.
And then we moved here, and then we kept being in the same room. I want to say like 6 months or something.
Yeah,
like,
and then you realized it was like, well, there's another room.
Yeah, it was a nice room. This is a really good room.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll go to the other room. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't have any friends because by choice. Like, I liked you, and I liked books. Other kids, I found them, like, I want to be honest on this podcast, I found them, like, insufferable. Like, I just couldn't speak to them. Like, I couldn't for a very, very long time.
Typical signs of autism, dude.
Yeah, like, and I was weirdly antisocial even in, like, year 7. It was still a thing that I would, like, fuck up social interactions, like, fairly often. Like,
Yeah, I was never good at social interaction. I had a similar thing. I was just better default than you. My natural social interaction was a little high enough that I could pass as a friend.
I think people found me like abrasive and weird.
You were
like,
very blunt.
Yeah, I was very blunt because I didn't want any friends. Like, I was like, I don't care about you. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. God, man.
Crazy kids. You crazy kids.
A couple of crazy kids. I don't
We're
know.
much better now.
Yeah.
We're
Oh, yeah.
reformed.
I'm a very friendly person. I rarely fuck up social interactions now. Like, if ever. Like.
Just take some practicing.
Yeah. I got good. You know. Well, once people became interesting, then it was worth talking to them.
Yeah.
And it was slow, like over time.
Yeah, I gotta mention again, this is not a psychopath thing.
Yeah, the way we sound is not the way we feel.
We're talking very analytically because that's just how we like to speak so that you can understand exactly what we mean.
Yes.
And it just happens to sound like
Very
how
blunt.
a very blunt person who doesn't care about your emotions would say it.
And I think we should preface this with both very intelligent, like, and the average person, like, this is not a mean thing. It's obviously, like, if you were hanging out with a bunch of people and you're like, man, these people are really not as smart as me, you would feel weird, right? Like, if you're an average person and you were hanging out with dumb people.
And it's not really a smart thing either. It's more of like a...
Wisdom.
We were just different people already. By the time we moved back here, we had set up from such a different start point. Like, we had gone other paths than normal already.
Yeah, way different. We didn't know any sports. We didn't know anything
No.
about Australian culture. Like,
Yeah, we were more PNG-ian, to be honest.
Well, I had an accent.
Yeah, you did.
People used to say that I had an accent. I had a public. Like, I don't know what it was. I couldn't even do an impression of my accent. I don't know what it was.
You talked like this a little bit.
A little bit like this.
It was kind of South African.
A little bit South African.
Yeah.
Like a little bit like this. Oh, that feels natural.
A tiny bit.
That feels a little bit natural though.
You had a twang.
Yeah.
You know, you had a real twang.
I had a thing where
Yeah.
I was like, that's an odd sound for an Australian kid to make. Okay.
I have a very
interesting.
different accent too, but we were young enough that apparently you grow out of it because we were young enough that we hadn't set our voices yet.
Your teenage years is when it really sets.
Yeah,
apparently.
so we
Yeah.
missed the awesome accent boat.
Yeah. Apparently that's why some people have like a little bit of an accent. It's because they had a little bit of an accent when they were a teenager, and then they just never changed it after they were like 19. They didn't feel it.
Apparently we sound very Australian now, by the way. Or at least me.
I've
I've been told that I sound very Australian by
We
Dad.
definitely sound Australian, but like, I don't know, like we don't sound Australian compared to other Australians.
Well,
like,
compared to true blue Aussies.
yeah, well, we don't sound like this.
Well, that's because we're not drinking a VB at 9 o'clock in the
Or
morning.
hit a bloody roo with my car, windshield's fucked, didn't
Yeah.
have any roo bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't sound like that.
Yeah.
But I wonder if people would be able to call if we went to America where we were from.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, that's Australia, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Accent. Identified.
Definitely accent. Like, we don't speak like Californians, man. Like, we don't have like
California.
California love. I'm sorry, I've already broken the no singing rule again.
I gave up on that rule as soon as I said it.
California knows how to party.
Yeah.
California knows how to party. Yeah, there you go.
I
The
forgot
seal is broken.
what were we talking about? I was distracted by that funky
School.
groove. School? Harumph. Should we go back to funny?
We can be funny about school.
Let's go back to funny about school.
Yeah.
Whoa, hey, what's the deal with teachers? It's me.
It's almost like they didn't have any plan and then they just went into being teachers and now they hate kids or something. Yeah.
What's the deal with airplane peanuts?
Oh my god.
That's like an 85-year-old Jerry Seinfeld.
Frankly, I don't like the insinuation.
Yeah.
Oh, he's fucking so punchy. So New York. Oh,
Hey.
so way.
Funny school.
That Seinfeld, he's a Jew, huh?
Where?
That's
Whoa!
Hey!
Dude, you can't talk about my culture like that. Okay.
I'm allowed to say the word Jew. They're proud of that.
Speaking as a Jew,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Well, you're stolen valor right now.
No.
Yes.
I can get Jew curls. That's got to be a qualification.
Yeah, but your mum isn't Jewish. That's the rules.
So I need to marry a nice Jewish lady.
Even if Dad was Jewish.
No, but if I married a Jewish lady, my kids
you could
be
marry
Jewish.
in, and then your kids would be Jewish.
So that's the plan then. Any nice Jewish fan out there,
Any nice Jewish fan.
please, I need to become a Jew. It's sort of a thing for me. We can divorce.
We don't have to really.
We don't have to. I just need to be a full-fledged Jew.
Ideally, too. I would also like to be a Jew.
Just
but
because
then I
we
would
think
like to leave.
we have access to some kind of better power.
Yes.
Some more sort of, at least mentally, I would feel better about myself.
Well, the moment you became a Jew, obviously they would take you into the room, and they would be like, obviously, so
they would
this is-
teach me how to control the weather.
Yeah, exactly. They would teach you how to control the
They
weather.
would teach me how to hide my hooves and horns.
They would teach you like the smell of gold. Like
Yep, they would give me my necklace, my Jew necklace gold.
Yeah, you get it. You get your like ceremonial law degree.
Yep.
Yep.
By the way, we are not anti-Semitic.
No, we love the Jews.
We actually, I do have a dream to become a Jew, and it's because I actually like just the idea of being a Jew is
amazing.
amazing.
The off chance that we have any foreign listeners who aren't from Australia, there's very few Jews in Australia.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yeah, we have like a few zones. There's Balaclava.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, they were awesome. You would see them with the curls and the scroll
That's what I mean.
belts.
They're very cool
the robes.
in our society.
They're awesome.
If you look at them from a perspective of Chad.
And other kids, there were so many good memes
Yeah,
with that.
the memes.
Other kids, not me,
Not us.
would leave dollar coins on the street and wait around to see if a Jewish guy would come along.
By the
Anyway,
way, you said that a little sarcastically. He really means that this was not him. Let me be clear.
this is not me.
We, a Jewish...
You think I'd waste a coin?
Yeah,
a
you
shekel?
think we waste a fucking coin?
Yeah, bro,
That's-
a coin, that could buy me a slushie in year
Yeah,
9.
dude, that's a fucking Slurpee, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Maybe a chocolate.
Do you think I'd fucking, like, risk
That's
the chance
value.
that another
okay?
kid would come along and be like, hey, a coin, and just pick it up? I would not risk.
Yeah, that's a waste of a good shekel.
Yeah. A shiny coin.
By the way, I think we should change to the shekel in Australia, just because simply, it's a power play, I'd say. It's a real power play.
I think it was like 16,000 people signed a certificate to change the Australian dollar to dollary dues.
Well, I would... Oh man, that's a fucking toss-up.
$400 dollary dues? That's a
But
Simpsons
what if
quote.
you could say 400 shekels?
Yes, shekels would be much better.
See what I'm saying here?
Yeah, rubles, any good.
We have a real respect for the Jewish culture here,
Yes.
because it's awesome.
And also they're very good at what they do.
Yeah, we
generally.
just love that they are actually successful as like their culture statistically makes you more successful if
Yeah.
you were raised in a Jewish family.
A lot of
Statistically,
like a ton of the Nobel Prizes that have ever been won are Jewish. Albert Einstein was a Jew.
by the way, we do not believe in the Judaist religion.
No,
We are not Jew.
we don't believe in nothing.
We don't believe in nothing.
We're filthy
We're
atheists.
filthy atheist gaijin.
Yes.
Okay? We're not trying to convert you. In fact, don't
Yeah.
become.
If you're religious, you're not the fan.
Yeah, you're not the fan if you're religious.
Now, Buddhism doesn't count. Any Eastern religions, a little bit more leeway. If you believe in any organized religion that involves...
It doesn't get you out of being a fan, but it's not a. It also doesn't help you.
Only, you can
It's
only
a neutral
be,
thing.
And also, you will never be the fan if you believe in an organized religion. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But part of your path to being the fan would be being convinced of that it's not the right call.
Of your own accord, convinced of your own accord through the reason and logic we provide.
And it's, I think the proper term would be agnostic, but we have a lot of, like, we believe in determinism. Like, a lot of classically atheist things we believe, but we're not atheist in the sense that we believe in, like, no consciousness, no higher beings.
No, we're not like militant either. I think it is I think you're right. It's definitely agnosticism. And it's not like agnostic as in, oh, maybe God's real. We don't think God is real.
not in the, like, it's a guy with a robe and, like, a white beard, and also not in the sense that it's, like, a cloud or a bright light.
We would probably be reflections of God if there is anything that is a God.
Yeah, we think the only thing that hasn't been completely ruled out, the real thing we're agnostic about, is like a God made up of the collective consciousness.
Because we are the universe. And it seems to me that...
We're made of stardust, man.
Yeah, man. We are luminous beings.
Luminous.
Luminous beings are we. That's a Yoda quote.
Yoda's nuts are in your ass.
Yo. Fucking, so the whole universe, like, for me it seems like personality and these little bodies, the meat bodies, are like little shells that sort of consciousness inhabits for a short time and then switches between them, like, 53 minutes. Okay, we can cut it off. We just go to the natural end.
Let's just go until we're done with this conversation. And also, maybe we should release...
Later I can go through and then we can get some clips. We can get like, oh, school is shit. We can get like, oh, you know...
You're right.
Yeah.
It's a good plan.
Yeah.
My brother.
Yeah. Brother mine.
Brother mine.
Fucking Sherlock.
We have, very ironically referred to ourselves as Mycroft and Holmes at points.
Yes. Just
But we know
because-
that we're actually fucking stupid.
Yeah, everyone is.
Everyone is
monkeys.
stupid.
We are all monkeys.
monkeys.
The human race
Return
is...
to monkey.
Yes, first of all, return to monkey, and second of all, the human race collectively... And we don't mean everyone is stupid. We don't mean that in a mean way. We mean, like, monkey brains, the human mind, does not compute information very well or objectively. And if we invent any sort of artificial intelligence that has a general sort of intelligence, like, it will be unfathomably smarter than us. It'll be ridiculous. Like, we would be like a worm, you know? Like, of the scale of possible consciousness, we are all very low, the human race, you know? Still chimps, man. Like, still such chimps. Like...
Yeah.
Should we talk about why organized religion... Should we give a gist of, like, why you shouldn't subscribe to any particular organized religion? Like, oh, I'm gonna solo for a minute, people.
Mm-hmm.
Will's going out. Okay, so here's why. Here's the gist, okay, of why organized religion is not a reasonable thing to believe. Like, there's other better explanations, but here's mine, right? None of the ancient books that are the sources of these religions are verifiable. They're all equally as credible as each other. And they're all contradictory. So let's say you're Jewish, right? Or let's say you're Christian, right? Like, or, you know, whatever it might be. Mormon, you're in a rare cult in the woods, of subsect of Catholicism or Christianity in some way, some weird, you know, Russian Pentecost or something. Any particular version of religion that you believe is true over other religions, you don't have any reason to believe that. Like, there's no evidence to support your claim. And if you don't believe the claim should be supported with evidence, you really haven't considered
Reality.
You
believe in the scientific method.
Yeah, you haven't considered ignorance and our natural... Like, if you believe everyone else's religion is wrong and yours is right, you need to examine the credibility and why you actually think that. Like, you know, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. If there was one overarching world religion that everyone agreed on and they're all like, yes, I pray to God and he listens to me and I hear him and he says that he's Jesus, and then that would be a lot more convincing. But there's a million people who say that they can speak to Islam, a million people who say that they can pray to God, a million people who can commune with Hindu entities. Like, people are clearly producing these phenomena in their own minds, you know?
Yeah. I feel like we should talk, it's time to talk politics, Oscar.
Yeah, give me some politics, Will. Lay it on me.
We're not going to talk about anything recent, because you don't know when this is being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this was recorded in 1997, if you didn't know.
I think it was recorded in 2043, so...
Well, there you go. So, somewhere between that range,
Maybe.
or the dates we've given you, or maybe before or after.
Actually, wait, I'm just going to check the direction of the wind.
Yep.
And where are the stars at? It's actually 73 AD.
Yes.
I changed my answer.
Ooh.
It's 73 AD right now.
Yep.
The marauders, there's bandits are coming.
The pillagers are at the door of
Yes.
the castle.
Yes.
But we pulled up the moat. We're sitting here with our phone. We're time travelers.
Yeah, we're time travelers. The time machine is broken. We are doomed.
We're doomed. We're dead. We're gonna be hung as soon as this is over.
Yeah, so I've just been peeing in the corner quietly and sobbing.
Yeah. I took a shit just in the middle of the room.
Yeah, it was... I wasn't sure why you were doing that, but you were sobbing so violently that it felt rude to interrupt.
It was just, it's depressing in the castle.
It is depressing. There's drips coming. I don't know if you can hear the little drip, drip. I don't know if the phone's picking it
Yeah,
up.
it's like it's sort of like bloop, bloop, bloop.
We're in a cavern. There's a torch here. We're
Blink,
doing this
blink.
by torchlight. There's many confused...
Alright, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
It's time.
Timeline is shifting.
Yeah,
Different timeline.
we're Genghis Khan.
Yes.
Because I love talking about Genghis.
Yes.
Now, what do you think is the coolest thing about Genghis Khan's everything?
Specifically, the combat skills of the horse
Yes,
archers.
Exactly, I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah.
The horse archers, okay? Now we know horse archers don't work basically everywhere but where they were.
Comanche and the Huns.
Comanche and the Mongolians.
Yes.
The Huns, they had horse archers
Perfected
too.
it, I guess.
Yeah, they made it better. But it was, they don't work everywhere because horses are big and you need a lot of food to feed them.
Yes.
And a lot of water. But the Mongols, they had like plains. It was steppes?
Yeah, the Mongolian steppe.
And there was a big river that they had a bunch of water. They were producing enough food.
The original evolutionary point of the horse.
Yes.
They were mountain horses. They were mountainous. Think of a donkey, like a Skyrim horse, if you know what that looks like.
Yeah.
And they were tamed, I want to say 7,000 years ago by the Mongolians.
I think so.
Yeah, they were the original horse riders, so they were really good at it. And then the Comanche in America, European horses were brought over, and then they were wild, and then the Comanche just learned how to tame them after they came over, and they got really good at it on their own, because I guess they're just great at that.
By the way, when we say politics, we just mean general wars.
I like to think of it as
history.
evolutionary history. In
Yeah,
a certain
it's
sense.
sort of borders changing, anything that affects this. When we say politics, I mean all the states throughout all of history and time can be mentioned here.
Yes.
Because they existed in the realm of politics.
Yeah.
Be it as primitive and brutal as it was.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite ancient peoples?
Oh man, it's got to be England. Not even ancient.
Yes.
England is my favorite ever.
They are the best, actually.
Just
Okay.
because they perfected everything.
Yeah.
The Navy play was so beautiful. Just having the most ships, colonizing everywhere, bad ethics, terrible morality.
Oh, they were horrible people.
They were horrible people.
Yeah.
But also think of the production and the money.
The East India Trading Company was sick.
The East India Trading Company. They had I think they had up to it was maybe 600 ships, but it could have even been 1,000. I might be getting these mixed up.
They had a fuckload. I think 1,000 was the Royal Navy. I think it was 200 for the East India Trading Company, if I remember. Britain was fucking sick. They were terrible people. They did a lot of really horrible things. But they had a really unique culture. If you can step outside of whatever feelings you may have, you can look at the culture. It's very interesting. You can look at their tactics, and anyone can admit they dominated, mostly due to luck and geography. They lived on an island, and they just happened to have access to lots of domesticated little animals from Europe and lots of civilization. They stole from Rome, who stole from the Greeks, who stole from someone else, surely.
Yeah. But if you're talking, honestly, most of the Middle Ages people, they are a little lame. And they were cool for the time.
Middle Ages Europe, you mean?
Yeah. Just because caveman, I find way more interesting. Tribal life,
Yes, I
find
agree with that
extremely
statement.
interesting.
Yes.
because it's kind of the origins of humanity, how we got out of the forest.
The first to domesticate dogs and do all that shit.
Yeah, that stuff's very like evolutionary impactful.
Yeah.
Whereas most of the Middle Ages was just slowly figuring out how metal works exactly
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And like oppressing people with
Oppressing
capitalism.
people with capitalism because it worked so good.
Yeah.
And like like before capitalism was capitalism, like
yeah.
it's what is it, like imperialism,
Dictatorships, really,
monarchies, oligarchies, just generally taxing the shit out of the people and taking most of the resources for yourself.
And I think capitalism, because it's not a regulated market usually.
Yeah, it's like I think it's technically regulated by the government.
Yeah, well, the
But the
British,
government
the
is one
Romans
person.
had a regulated market, the Greeks had a regulated market,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
everywhere else didn't. Like, you know,
Yeah.
and it
Maybe.
wasn't as regulated as it is now. So what's your favorite like older than that peoples? And you can remember there's the Maori, there's like the fucking Neanderthals. You could go all the way back there. You could like Vikings. There's the Celts, you know, Saxons, Normans, the Romans, Byzantines, the Ottomans.
There's kind of a lot.
Might be it's not the Huns.
I mean, the Huns are really cool.
You could go Native America. You could go like there's a lot. There's probably a lot in Africa, but we don't have a lot of written history from the time, so it's very difficult.
I think I like the idea of the Native Americans.
They're pretty awesome.
Just because they kind of lived like a nice-ass life. You know? I really like the Australian Indigenous too.
Mm-hmm.
Boomerangs are cool.
They're awesome, and they
They
were
lived
described
here for
as-
like 60,000 years or something.
yeah, very like
Like, at least, from what we've proven, it's been at least 60,000 years that they've been here.
and they were so good at living off the land and stuff that their lives, they were nomadic mostly. Like
Yeah, they didn't need to progress technologically because they'd already figured out a system.
they were fine.
They were doing well.
You know, like
Apparently there were like millions of them. They were like a whole civilization here, similar to the Amazon tribe.
that's mine.
Yeah, Amazon is pretty cool.
That's my favorite ancient people is the Aztecs. Yeah,
Fuck man, they were vibing so hard.
their words are awesome. Quetzalcoatl, Chipacticata, like
I really liked the lakes, the floating gardens.
yeah, well that was awesome. Their farming techniques, they had aquaculture. They were farming in the water, which is
They
really
would build
unique.
islands in lakes and farm those islands.
Yep. It was really cool.
And rivers
you
and
know
stuff.
how I feel about water shit. I have a lot of fish tanks, you know, like
Oh yeah, you're
Love
doing
that.
a marine science course.
yeah, baby. It's going great. It's funny, we don't often state things as if we're like introducing ourselves to someone, but it is funny to go back over the facts about
Yeah.
us, you know?
Yeah. And also, I'm fucking tired. We might have to end this.
Okay, we've reached the end, people.
Yeah, I think we've reached the end.
I'll cut this up later. We love you, fan.
Yeah, fan.